Hey guys, Solid 4ST Ben back with you. I thought I'd go ahead and do part 2 of the free X-Men haul I got a while back. One of my last videos I showed you some free X-Men books I got. And these are some later issues, like from the 80s, but still some pretty cool stuff. I thought I'd show those. Got a couple more books and then some other stuff of my own I'd like to show you. But we'll get started here. And this is like a complete run from like the 244 through 269 of the original Uncanny X-Men. So here's 244, and this is actually the first appearance of Jubilee in this book. 245. Like I say, all these are anywhere from very good to very fine. You know, just depends. Most of them pretty good shape, probably in fine condition. Pretty cool Wolverine cover there. Okay, 246. Sorry about the glare. 247. This is kind of a key issue, 248. This is Jim Lee's first art on X-Men. Pretty cool book. Got Havoc and Colossus on the cover. 249. $250. 251. I thought this was really cool cover. 252. 253. This is a Mark Silvestri cover. 254. I think 253 and 254 was actually the start of the all-new X-Men at that point anyway. 255. 256. Another cool Jim Lee cover. 257. 258. And I also did want to mention, I'm probably going to have some of these up for sale or trade if anybody's interested. Another cool Wolverine cover. 259. 260. 261. Another cool Jim Lee cover. See on the bottom there. 262. 263. 264. Really cool Beast cover. 265. 266. This is the first full appearance of Gambit. I think the first cameo or first little hint of Gambit was like in X-Men Annual 14. That's the first Gambit appearance. 267. $268. Really cool Wolverine, Captain America, and Black Widow cover. More Jim Lee art. And $269. And I have one issue of the series after that, X-Men number 30. It's the wedding of Scott Summers and Jean Grey. Pretty cool issue. Okay, next couple things. There's a store probably about 40 minutes away. It's called Half Price Records and Books, and this place has you know, CDs, DVDs, 45s, cassette tapes, 8-tracks, albums, books, comic books, trade paperbacks. I mean, they're all half price. So I was going to get a big bunch of stuff, but I controlled myself. It was hard. But I found a bunch more of these little DC digests I showed in one of my earlier videos, and I just bought one because I love this cover so much and I didn't have it. But DC Special Blue Ribbon Digest number 14, UFO Invaders. And as you can see, that's a really cool Joe Kubert cover. And on the back, I think it's even cooler illustration. You got Adam Strange by Joe Kubert. Really cool little books. I think they were selling for like $2 or $3 a piece. I go back, if I got any left, I'll probably snatch them all. But I knew I didn't have this one, so it's a pretty cool cover. It's got, you know, all the, I guess, superstars of DC science fiction art. You got Carmine Infantino, Murphy Anderson, Gil Kane, Joe Jella. Just a bunch of great Silver Age sci-fi artists in here. And speaking of Joe Kubert, this is a book of his that I wanted for a long time. So I got this one at half price too. It's Yossel, April 19, 1943, and this is sort of a semi-autobiographical story that he did. He kind of gives a little mini biography in the first of it, because you know, his parents were Polish immigrants, and they came to the States, you know, in 26, right before he was born, or maybe right after he was born. But this is kind of like an alternate story of like maybe an alternative Joe Kubert if he hadn't got out, you know, of the Nazi Holocaust. And there's just some great illustrations in it. You guys can see that. But it's just a great story about a young kid who was also an artist, you know, and how things would have went if it was under the Nazi regime. And the cool thing about this is, I mean, it's all from the original pencils. I mean, it's not inked at all, so you really get to see how good Joe's artwork really was. It's really great stuff. But if you can't find this online, you can go to kubertworld.com, where the art school is, and you can go to the art supply store, and you can buy a lot of these books online from that place. This is just, you know, you can see the art. It's just great. Okay, speaking of art, I know some guys on here have been showing some of the original stuff. I think it might have been Doc and Howlett, and I know Tom, our buddy Hippie, he just showed a piece of his original Batman work from the 70s, and I've kind of been self-conscious about showing some of my stuff, but you know, you guys kind of gave me the courage to show some of it. So anyway, as far as Joe Kubert's concerned, I bought a couple of the correspondence courses, and I got a couple of lessons done, and you know, I got busy with work, and you know, life sometimes life happens, and you kind of got to put things to the side that you can't really do right then. But I've got a couple of the lessons. Okay, here's like the first one I did. You had to design a couple characters, and then you had to do like a little 3-panel thing down there. So I had my hero. There's a guy robbing the bank. Then our hero bursts in from the top, and then the last panel he knocks the guy out. It's fun to do. Like I said, I don't think these guys even have names, but it was fun to do it. The cool thing about this is when you get the corrections back, they do anybody's familiar with it for the school, they do these tracing paper overlays where they do the corrections. And I'm not sure if Joe did this when it looks like his. The other one I know he did it, but this was Joe's corrections on my lesson. Some notes about what I need to do, but this to me, especially since Joe's not with us anymore, and I love his artwork so much. I mean, this is just a great thing to have. And it's okay. You got Joe Kubert inking your pencils, basically, because he did a lot of corrections on my stuff. But I've got another piece. This was from the Heroes and Superheroes course. Okay, here was the second lesson I did. You have to create more characters, and then another little 3-panel story. I don't know if you can see that really good, but I just got some reference from like an old Norse warrior, and then the little 3-panel, little 3-panel thing down here. Basically, you got some people in a flood, and then they want you to show a close-up of them kind of in the thick of it there in the water, and then the last panel, the hero's kind of swooping in there. But there's that. Of course, like the coolest thing about it is the corrections. Now I know Joe did these, and you can just kind of tell by the line work. This is Kubert stuff, But to me, that's just like having a piece of Joe's art, because he's literally inking your pencils. In this case, a lot on my case, but I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, I got a few more pieces I'll show you. Okay, this is just a little simple piece here I colored. Original character, just kind of flying through the city. Not great by any means, but it was fun to do. And this was done several years ago. Some of my original characters. I've got a whole notebook full of characters I made up when I was a teenager, and I just finally kind of put my best ones, or my favorite ones, put it that way, on paper. So, okay. I think this was I did this off the cover of a Claw comic book, Claw the Unconquered. I think this was from a House of Secrets cover, kind of a little goth thing, a woman running from a castle. I really wanted to ink this one, but I think I'll just make a photocopy of it and ink that, because I really like the way the pencil part looked. did for my son on one of his birthdays. My version of the Kurt Swan Superman. It's kind of old and smudged, but yeah. Another Superman. I did a colored and ink version for my son. I've got 2 or 3 more pieces. A lot of stuff I like to do is kind of like off favorite covers. I'll just find comic panels that I really like, and really that's a lot of my stuff. I think this was from a panel of either eerie or creepy. It was kind of a sci-fi scene. I inked this one up. Kind of like got a little sloppy with the white ink there. That's why you see all the blotches, but kind of like the astronaut fighting a robot. And this was my wife's favorite. I think this was another panel in Black and White magazine from the 70s. I'm not sure what it was, but kind of a barbarian Conan thing going on with the castle and the skulls and everything. I thought it was a pretty cool image. So a lot of times I'll go to a flea market or a secondhand bookstore and I'll find old sci-fi and fantasy paperbacks from the 70s and just, kind of do the covers off that. I think this last one was another panel like from an eerie or creepy. I just kind of expanded on it a little bit. It's like a guy that's been out in his cabin in the winter too long. But I enjoyed doing this. I think the coolest thing about this is my dad made this frame, and he's great at woodworking, and my mom, she's really talented. They're both retired, and they spend a lot of time painting, and she's just a great artist. She's a painter, and but he does a lot of the frames for her stuff, and he did just a real excellent job on this. But you guys have, like I say, I've kind of seen some of your guys' stuff, and it's kind of inspired me to start drawing again. So anyway, hope I didn't bore you with that. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you soon.